Hello, I'm Nan Simonson, and I am in the middle of a busy day of making cheese. Yes, cheese. I'm whole food plant-based. I'm going on 5 years now of avoiding animal products of all kinds. So no, I don't really eat cheese, but I kind of do because I'm making my own. There's Miyoko's on the market. There's a lot of plant-based cheeses on the market. The problem is they're usually loaded with coconut oil and all kinds of other things, and I want to go, I'll call it leaner, but still have cheese. So today I'm making a vegan cheese that's made out of vegetables, nutritional yeast, a little bit of cashew in this entire recipe, a 1/4 cup of cashews, and I'm going to get a quart out of this of cheese. So let me begin. I'm first starting with the vegetables that I cooked, and I saved some of the broth. So this is simply potato, carrot, and onion. And I happen to use leek because I had leeks, and I love the flavor of a leek. I could have used shallots, I could have used plain white onion. And I'm going to put it in the blender, blend this, and then you'll see the secret of being able to make a sliceable cheese without even having to what we call age it. You'll see. I'm going to add the liquid, 1 cup of the liquid from my cooking the vegetables, and there was more than that. I drank it. It was really good. I'm adding a 1/4 cup of white beans, and I used Great Northern, a 1/4 cup of chopped cashews. If I weren't using a Vitamix, which is the most powerful blender on the planet, or one of them, I would have soaked the cashews, a 1/4 cup soaking them. But I didn't because this will blend it up really well, even though soaking's not a bad idea, but I didn't for this. I'm putting in some lemon juice. I'm putting in nutritional yeast. If you could smell this, you'd say, that is a cheesy flavor or aroma. And I use unfortified nutritional yeast because I have a thing called MTHFR, genetic SNP, which means that I can't break down folic acid in my system to make folate. And a lot of things are fortified with folic acid, so I can't do that. A lot of people don't want any fortification in their products. They would rather get the fortification from the food they eat. But either way, unfortified nutritional yeast can be purchased. Interestingly enough, it's more expensive than if you get fortified. And the fortification usually has B12 and folic acid and a number of other B vitamins, and I think it even has niacin in it. But you can get nutritional yeast. I would get organic. You can get it anywhere. And I'm putting in the seasonings. There's some salt, and yes, you do use salt in cheeses, and that's part of the problem of commercial cheeses. Cheese is traditionally 80 to 90% fat, usually saturated if it's a conventional cheese, and loaded with salt. This isn't loaded, but there is salt, and it could be enhanced with a salt substitute, and there are some good salt substitutes, but I've used regular salt. So I'm gonna blend this, and then we'll get into the magic. I'm gonna scrape it down, and this is already smelling cheesy. All right, scrape it down, do that one more time, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do and splice another video onto this one. So one more time. See, look at the color. What is this color from? It's from the carrot, it's from paprika, smoked paprika, and it's from a little bit of turmeric. So all natural. Is it for it to be velvety, smooth and velvety. Ooh, that's really good. Yum, yum. Okay. Where did this recipe come from? I was looking online for a low fat, which meant not a lot of nuts. A lot of them are primarily nuts. And 3 of my other cheeses that I'll be making because I promised a charcuterie board, charcuterie, for a party, a 50th birthday party coming up this weekend. The others, well, actually, one of them has a lot of beans in it as well, but the other 2 are nut-based, either cashew or cashew and pine nut, and there are a lot of other combinations we could have used. I think this is looking just fine. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to make a slurry of agar-agar. In the next video, the one I attached to this, I'll tell you a little more about it. Then we're gonna put it in here, and then I'm gonna, quick as a bunny, put it into molds because I'm going to want to make sure that it doesn't set up too quickly. So I'll be back with you. Okay, I'm back. So I've moved to the stove, and I want to show you my collection of cheese molds. These are pieces of parchment paper that I cut to put in the bottom of the cheese molds to make it easier to turn them out. I did the same with the squares as well. This recipe is going to make a lot of cheese, and I'm going to fill at least 2 of the rectangular, 1 of the round, and if that is, if there's still some extra, I'm just going to throw it into this glass bowl that I have the water in, but I'll do that if I have to. Okay, so I'm going to get this out of the way and show you where we take it. This is the part about agar-agar. I explained that agar-agar is a powder. It can be purchased as a flake, but it takes much more of the flakes to make what the powder will in terms of thickness. And so most of the recipes that I've used have called for agar powder, agar-agar. And agar-agar is a alternative to animal-based gelatin. And it's a thickener made, I believe it's from a sea vegetable, like a sea, not kelp, but that kind of thing. Low in calories, thickens things beautifully, and this one is gluten-free. And you'd say, oh, come on, there's no gluten in a sea vegetable. Well, but there's probably not. Gluten comes from most grains, but that means that they're not grinding it where they grind something like wheat, barley, rye, where there would be cross-contamination. Gelatin substitute, raw powder, keto-friendly, vegan. Okay. I've measured out 2.5 tablespoons of it, and look, it's just a light little powder. Okay, and I have a cup of water. I'm bringing a cup of water to boil, and then I'm going to grab something, hold on. I'm thinking in case I do end up with enough to put some in here, I do want it to be dry. Put it up here. Okay. I'm going to put the agar in. When this starts to thicken, I better do this pretty fast. When this starts to thicken, and I'm looking for like a molasses consistency, it goes very fast. And my goal is to bring it to a boil quickly. Be sure that I continuously whisk it. I happen to have this nifty little flat whisk. It's coming to a boil. Put it lower, and for just a couple of minutes, whisk it as it continues to thicken. There, very, very quick. Do you see that? Can you see this consistency? Very thick. And you don't want to overdo it. Let me make sure I've gotten it to the consistency it wants to. Yeah, it starts pulling away from the pan. Let's see, I'll put it here. Now, I want to dump it into the cheese mixture. And this is how we're going to get it to set up like a fine old aged cheddar. Is it going to taste just like animal-based cheese? No. It doesn't have butter fat. It doesn't have milk, sugar, lactase. But by the same token, this is really healthy. It's just a bunch of plants. Smells great. Giving it just about a half a minute to make sure it blends well. You don't want to get your spatula in the blades, especially this kind. I was saying you don't want to get your spatula in the blades, especially this kind, which is a silicone spatula. Let me just chew it up. Okay, we're good. All right. One more time. No, I'm not going to taste with this. I'll taste with this. The agar-agar doesn't have a taste, so that's going to be so nice. All right. I'm going to do it over this tray so I don't spill it down the stove. One cheese. Two cheeses. And a round one. Yeah, this is, oops. This is perfect. Now I'm going to set this up for several hours in the refrigerator, but I'm not using it until Saturday. What I have found with all of my veg cheeses is that I like setting them up longer than necessary. Be watching for my red pepper cheese. I'm going to be making that. I'm doing 4 videos in a row. My red pepper cheese. I'm doing a white bean cheese that looks like a jack cheese. And I'm doing a blue cheese. Gosh, how am I going to get a blue cheese? Got to watch that video because you're going to see how we color a cheese to look just like a Roquefort. Does it taste like a Roquefort? Thank goodness, no. But it tastes pretty darn good. And that's one of the cheeses, actually I'll be doing 2 of them, that I age in my dehydrator. Okay, yeah, they're already setting up. Actually, I would love, oh, never mind. I was going to say I'd love to put some of that in that, but I think I've waited too long. Have I? No, I haven't. I want to even it up. Okay, There we go. All right, that's it. I'll be back to you with the finished product, and I will attach the photo of the charcuterie board when it's finished. I'll do that with each one of the 4 videos. Have a great day, because I know I'm going to. I'll be back later. Bye-bye.